What's going on, everybody? Robinson DUP. I wanted to shoot a little video. I've been noticing this trend a lot because I get asked a lot. Let me fix this. That's better. What my macros are in this constant. I know what people are trying to do. They're trying to do a macro comparison. You're this height around this weight, and I'm around this height and this weight, and this is what I should be eating compared to what you're eating. As well as people I see in forums constantly talking about, oh, I'm 5 grams short on my protein or my carbs or this or that. Like they're just shy of hitting their macros, or they're just over by a hair on their macros, and like the panic sets in. I think it's important that competitors and people who are into macro counting stop trying to compare macros and micro their macros. And what do I mean by that? When you're assigned macros, for instance, like for instance, I have 230 grams of protein, 230 grams of carbs, 60 to 65 grams of fat or something for the day, as an example. If I don't hit 230 grams of carbs or 230 grams of protein on the dot, and I'm slightly under, or maybe I'm slightly over, I don't lose a night's sleep. I get no anxiety over it whatsoever. It's about dietary and caloric consistency. And, you know, you're not going to like lose gains or go catabolic or, you know, not get the muscle that you were supposed to get because you're off by 5 grams. The reason why macros are there is to give you a gauge as to how your body's going to perform based on how it's fed. So whenever you're trying to create a result or a goal, you want something that you can quantify and measure. That's the idea of macros. It's something that you can quantify and measure to see the consistency, to see what kind of results you get back. So based on your training program, based on the nutrition that you're feeding your body, how much muscle are you putting on, what are your strength returns, how much body fat are you gaining? That's the idea behind macros. Instead of calorie counting, because if you just say 2,000 calories a day, what do those 2,000 calories consist of? There's really nothing. So you can eat 2,000 calories a day in sugar, or you can eat 2,000 calories a day based off of protein, fat, and carbs. Competitors and fitness enthusiasts are getting way too wrapped around and addicted to trying to be too perfect with their macros. And the thing that bothers me about that is it's not in any way better or stopping things that create, you know, disorderly eating or eating disorders. If you're obsessing over your food that much, or yeah,
look at my yogurt.
There's my baby not obsessing over a macro.
M&Ms. I don't give a shit.
If you're obsessing over your macros that much, I'm going to start to say you may have an issue that you need to take care of. Like I said, macros are just there as a gauge to help you and guide you as to what you're supposed to be doing and what the numbers you're supposed to be hitting. It's the same as, and it's no different than the people who are supposed to hit a PR and they've calculated it's supposed to be a certain number and they fall short by 5 pounds and it's like their whole day or their whole life is ruined. It's just a metric with which to measure how your planning is going. If you don't hit it perfectly every day, you're not being optimal, you're not going catabolic, you're not necessarily leaving muscle gain on the table. It's just to be there as a metric. Everyone needs to relax and stop being so psychotic over what their macros are, and people really need to stop obsessing what everybody else's macros are. I don't ask my wife or my coach, John Garofano, or some other competitor what their macros are. You know why? Because it's designed specifically to the individual. Now, I may happen to know those numbers because I help my wife with her macros, which right now, as you can see, she's not counting them at all.
Nope.
Because she's not worried about it.
No.
And there's no need to be. And for instance, like if John shares with me, okay, great, but I don't look at what he's eating and say, well, I need to be eating that, or I need to be eating more, I need to be eating less. I base it on what my body's doing and how I'm responding to said stimulus by adding these macros in or out. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later.